Royce Miller again, taking another break from my moving stuff. I hurt my back moving the TV. You see, my TV is actually a hand me down from my mom. She got it when flat screens were a bit more expensive. And then, uh, when we moved in 2014, uh, my old TV broke, so she gave me her TV and got a new smart TV. New at the time. And so yeah, it's one of those really chunky flat screens that's way more heavy than you think it should be. Cause like nowadays flat screens are so light. Anyway, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I wanted to do a Let's Try Oreos. Payday was today, so I got the peanut butter Oreos that I wanted to try. Now let me turn the fan off. I prefer recording with the fan on because it's cooler for me, but y'all deserve some better audio quality from me as well. The little fan's a little far away right now. I'm not pausing the video just to go turn that off. So peanut butter Oreos. I'll be honest, when I hear peanut butter Oreos, the only thing I think of is The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. Also Dennis Quaid. Is Meg Ryan the mom in that one? Probably one of the most... So, like, before Disney remade its cartoon movies, it was remaking its live-action movies. Look forward to the live-action remake of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Oh man, that wouldn't be a terrible idea, but they'd have to do it practically. Like they couldn't CG it like they did Jungle Cruise or Jungle Book. Because I think why 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea holds up is because of all of the practical effects and like how many real sea creatures were featured in the film. Although Lord knows they could really do with fixing the squid. The squid comes in tentacles first, which one of the first things you learn about squid in life science is that they propel themselves using a little hose out of their mantle, so they fly head first. Well, they swim head first, I should say. Anyway, also Freaky Friday was another good Disney remake. So was 101 Dalmatians too. Glenn Close, Hugh Laurie, the guy who played Ron Weasley's dad, Jeff Daniels, really good cast in that one. Just really solid comedic cast. And plus Glenn Close was really good as Cruella because like they got her design down pat. Anyway, but so in the film, Lindsay Lohan is locked up in a thing with herself, or in a cabin with herself, for a brief period, and that's when they discover that they're long lost twins. And one of the things that they talk about is Oreos with peanut butter on them. That's something that apparently Lindsay Lohan herself actually likes, so they kind of put it in the movie, which is, it's good to add character beats that kind of bring the character closer to the actor. The thing I remember most about, the critical reception to Parent Trap is what Doug Walker said, how he's like, it's just a shot-for-shot remake of the original. You could just watch the original. And I disagree with that wholly because the technology to clone a person on screen, while good for the time, hasn't aged the best. You can kind of tell that they're, cut and pasted together. And, these are classic film tricks. To make one actress appear like there's two. But I can tell that the girl in the original Parent Trap is like rotoscoped in or whatever. I can't tell. I thought for decades, not decade, well, maybe a decade, till I was like 10 years old or so, that Lindsay Lohan had a twin sister because it was that convincing. It's like how I used to think that Mrs. Doubtfire was actually played by a different actress, and that Robin Williams wasn't playing Miss Doubtfire. That's how convincing he was in that role. Anyway, back to the Oreos. Now I'm thinking about Robin Williams is mentioning Robin Williams and Lindsay Lohan, because he once said George W. Bush opening a library is like Lindsay Lohan being a guidance counselor. Which, whew, not sure if that's more insulting to W or to Lindsay. Let's be honest, it's Lindsay. Poor girl. Child stars are always treated horribly in Hollywood. Like, God bless Robin Williams, because he fought for Kristen Dunst and the kid on Jumanji to make sure that they got treated well. It's like, always, like, I can't begrudge a child actor who's so messed up, because there's usually a really messed up person behind him who's pulling the strings. Or something traumatic happens to them, like what happened to Jake Lloyd. Which, again, not his fault. He acted he acted surprisingly well in Jingle All the Way. Clearly, it was an issue with Lucas. Like, Samuel L. Jackson wasn't exactly going for an Oscar in that movie either. The only one who gave a darn was Ewan and Ian McDermott. Like, the one thing I'll say about the prequel trilogy is that the best writing Palpatine has. Like, it goes the prequels, Sith, or the prequels, Jedi, and a pile of the Clone Wars, any other animation, a pile of excrement, Rise of Skywalker. I defend Last Jedi to my dying breath, but Rise of Skywalker is a dumpster fire. It is hot garbage, and it ruined Palpatine. Anyway, let's try the Oreo. Oh, I should probably eat this as originally intended, author's intent. So, it has the taste of peanut butter, but, well, the implication of peanut butter, but it's mostly just normal Oreo cream. The, like, weird hydrogenated oil. Excuse me. Remember, kids, Oreos are vegan. So, if you ever get caught eating them by your parents, just say you're trying to eat healthy. It's strange. It's almost like a 50-50 mix of Oreo cream and Nutter butter? This is Nabisco? Yeah, Nabisco owns Nutter butter. Which, oh man, I love Nutter butters. Like with Oreos, you gotta get the ultra stuffed, because the filling is the best part, but Nutter butters probably have the best sandwich cookie, because it's that, like, really nice peanutty flavor. Versus Oreos, which is just this, like, pretty decent little crispy cookie. Like, what is the Oreo cookie referred to as? Okay, they are still referred to as chocolate sandwich cookies, but, like, I've never in my life tasted chocolate in the Oreo cookie part. It just tastes like a sweet, crumbly thingy. You know what we're going to do right now? We're going to make our own double stuffed. Where's the thing from? I first heard it in basketball, but I know it's from something else. There's a superior way of eating these. Heck, if you'd rather be keto about it. Just eat the cream and throw away the cookies. Oh Lord, that reminds me of House. In the final season, House's Holmes, if you will, Wilson, got cancer, and House is trying to convince him to get chemo. And they go to a restaurant, and House orders a bunch of Oreos. And apparently there's this thing where there's this like part of their backstory where they went on a hike once and lost most of their food, and so they just spent the entire hike sharing a box, sharing like a thing of Oreos. Wilson ate the cookie part, House ate the cream part. Hugh Laurie again, too. Man, I wish Robert Sean Leonard got more roles. He's great as Wilson in House. He's in Dead Poet Society, which I've never seen. Doesn't really toot my horn. I'm not big into like the coming of age, finding yourself in college movies like Good Will Hunting and Dead Poet Society, both of which had Robin Williams as a college professor. I think like Dead Poet Society, like, well, it's not where the poem originates, but I think that's supposed to be where the recitation of "Oh Captain, my Captain" at someone's funeral is from. Which I've never seen. I never read the actual poem. Like, literally all I know from that poem is "Oh Captain, my Captain." It's one of those things like, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, where the quote is more famous than the actual thing. I don't even know what it was the best times, it was the worst times is even from. It better not be from Gone with the Wind. I hated that movie. It is so long. My grandma loves it. My grandma on my mom's side. I'm sure my grandma on my dad's side also appreciates it, but I don't know. we live in an age where, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to get into that. I'll just leave Gone with the Wind on this note. My mom's family was playing Trivial Pursuit one night at like a hotel or something, and my grandma was sleeping. And the question was, what was the name of the plantation in Gone with the Wind? So they shake my grandma awake and ask her, because the internet didn't exist then, but they still wanted to cheat. And grandma just snorts, Tara, rolls back and falls asleep. Like a classic thing in my family. One of those quotes, one of those like family stories that gets told over and over again. Alongside my sister getting a porcelain tea set for Christmas one year, I'm telling our cousin, and she was like 3 or 4 at most. You would break it at Casey. It's fine Chinese. Because, she was aware of the concept of fine china back then. She just didn't know exactly how to pronounce it. She hates that story too. Michaela, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. Good Lord, this is just supposed to be a let's try some Oreos. It's been 17 minutes now. Good golly, Miss Molly. My back's rested. I gotta pack stuff up. Y'all have a good one. This is Royce Miller. I'm out.